Do you like my hat?
It's pretty awesome.
We're gonna have them at the merch tent at the Spokane Showdown.
Welcome to the 2026 Spokane Showdown Rallycross. I'm Keto.
I'm Katie. This is your virtual driver's meeting. As always, if you've seen a million of these, this is your friendly reminder to watch this all the way through. There will be new information in this one. They're all a little bit different. If you're new around here, we do a virtual driver's meeting before the race so we can get you as much information in advance as possible. And so you spend as little time as possible standing around at a driver's meeting at the race and more time racing. So, with that, this driver's meeting consists of two parts. We're going to talk at you for a little while. We'll try and make it quick. And then in the description of this video, there is a link to the cone basics video, and that tells you how to navigate the cones on course. So you also have a driver email in your inbox. That's probably how you navigated yourself to this video, but be sure to give that a read through. That has the schedule, has all the requirements, tells you what to expect, has tons of good info, and links to helpful articles down at the bottom if this is your first time. So just be sure to give that a read all the way through as well. This is a 2-day event. Each day is broken into 3 sessions. So if you are racing Saturday only, show up on Saturday, do your thing. Each day has a run session, run is the race session, a work session, and a rest session. You will be responsible for racing one time, working one time, and then you'll have one of the sessions off. If you're doing both days, Saturday and Sunday, it'll be the same both days. And if you're only racing Sunday, you only have to show up on Sunday. So all that to say, just show up for the days you race. You don't have to come for both days if you only race one. Okay?
You can, though.
You absolutely can. Come, hang out, have a good time. So when you show up, you will, to be clear, we have raced at Spokane once before, but we are using an entirely different part of the venue. And so there are a couple little details we're going to work out on the ground when we get there. So with that, what happens when you show up could go one of two ways. You may sign a waiver right at the gate and then be directed to parking, or you may be directed to parking and then you will sign a waiver before you come into the venue. So keep that in mind. We'll let you know how that's going to go. But when you show up, you're going to park. You can set up your paddock area, set up your camping area. One thing to know, we are 99.9% sure that this parking area is paved.
It is.
It is, which means when you can't, if you're camping, bring weights for your tents. You're not going to be able to stake them into the ground. For paddock, pavement usually makes things easier.
Yeah.
But it's the camping part that'll be a little trickier.
Well, also, your pop-up tents. You'll need to bring weights as opposed to screwing them in the ground.
Yep.
And also know this parking lot where you would normally take a left to go into the venue, you're going to go straight. So the entrance is perpendicular to where we were last time. And so it'll be just a straight shot down, and there's a parking lot back there. It's kind of the only thing on that little road.
Yeah, we will do our best to make that obvious.
Yeah,
and I would
we'll
like to
some signage there.
Put a mark in the sand. That was the first time we've used perpendicular in a driver's meeting. Big words. Okay, once you are set up, you are going to get your car all ready for tech. And if this is your first race of 2026, one new step to getting your car ready for tech is you need to come pick up a class sticker. What are you doing? We require that every driver for the 2026 season runs a class sticker in the upper passenger side corner of their windshield.
Correct.
This helps grid keep things going, get you lined up really fast and easy. There is a differentiator. If you are a dual driver, you will have your class sticker plus a little red thingy, a little red insert that tells grid that you're a dual driver. So come pick those up first. They'll be by the tech inspection area. Then that's one of the things that will be checked during tech inspection. Would you talk about the other things that are checked during?
Just real quick, if you normally drive single driver, you'll get it like this. If you normally drive dual driver, you will put this here. What happens is in the future, if you do run your single driver, you do run a dual driver, we'll give you a red piece of tape to put over here. And if you're normally a dual driver and you run single, we will give you a white piece of tape that you'll put over it. But what we want is the way you would most often run this sticker is how we would like you to have it on the car.
Yeah.
You asked me a question, I forgot what it was.
Tech inspection.
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing?
We look at cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has to be empty.
Yes, it has to be empty. Have it race ready, have your stickers on it, have your numbers on it, have all your floor mats out, all that stuff. Also, bring with you your helmet, and if you're gonna have a passenger or co-driver, that helmet also. We'll take a look at the car. We'll do an underhood inspection, make sure your battery is good and secure, your throttle's returning. We'll check your wheels. We'll shake them, make sure that you're not loose in your ball joints, your tie rods, or whatever. We'll check your brake pedal, make sure it's good. We'll make sure that the vehicle is empty, your seat belts are present, all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
Yep.
The most common thing you get sent away from tech inspection for is your battery being a little loose
Hmm.
or not having a cover over the
Positive.
positive terminal.
Yeah, the positive terminal has to have a cover. If you don't have a cover in a bind, you can take electrical tape and just wrap
Hmm.
the living hell out of it. But we really do prefer that you have, like a rubber battery cover or a cover for the positive terminal.
You can just get them at like O'Reilly's, right?
Yeah, any of
Yeah.
the auto parts
Yeah.
stores and yeah, anywhere you buy parts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Your numbers also need to be on. I got a question over email last week asking if you can use paint for your numbers. The requirements are that your numbers are 6 inches tall at least, with a 1 inch stroke at least, and are in a contrasting color to your car,
Mhm.
and they are clearly spaced apart. They're not like too close together. We need to be able to see them from distance
Mhm.
while you're moving.
Yeah.
So if you
Also,
get
also one more thing. Number placement is also key. If you put your number right down by your front wheel, which I've seen people do down, but it's going to get covered in dirt and mud after your first run, and then
Mhm.
we can't see it, and we're going to ask you to clean it off after every run. So the further up it is and the further back it is usually a good thing. I mean, don't put it back on your taillight,
Yeah.
but upper window,
Door
upper
panels,
door
window,
panel, like that. Just don't, below the belt line is often place where it just gets covered in dirt.
Do cars wear belts?
It's the seam, right? Right, like
Yep.
along the door.
Anyway, if you can get that done with paint, that is fine. But the requirements are the requirements.
Hmm.
Okay. One other thing. We have new helmet regulations this year. They're in the rules. You all have definitely read the rules and you're clear on them, so I don't need to repeat what the helmet requirements are,
Hmm.
right? But one thing we dealt with at the opener is, well, two things. One, new folks not having helmets
Hmm.
or existing folks having helmets that are expired.
Hmm.
Neither can work because we don't have ample loaner helmets.
Hmm.
So if this is in the rules, but we will reiterate, all drivers, co-drivers, dual drivers, whoever, must provide their own helmets and they must meet the rules.
Hmm.
So if you're seeing this and like, oh crap, I thought I could get one when I checked in, head to your local motorcycle shop. They'll probably have some good options for you. Just show them the
Hmm.
requirements. You have
Yeah.
to have your own.
Yeah, there's a new requirement, which is Snell 2025, which means that all the older numbers suddenly are worth less money, even though they still work for us.
Mm.
So you can buy a brand new 2015 helmet, for example,
Hmm.
and it's going to be, the value of that helmet is not going to be as high in the store.
Hmm.
Same value on your head, but you pay less money.
Yeah.
And so, that's an opportunity for you to snag a deal.
Yep. Um, we have loaner helmets for people who want to do fun ride-alongs, just to be clear. All right, moving on. When you come to tech inspection, bring your driver's license with you. That is the other thing we send people away for. You got to have your driver's license to check in. So you go from tech
Yeah.
to check in. We will confirm that you have a valid driver's license.
Just to be clear, you don't need it for tech inspection, but right after tech
Yes.
inspection is check-in. So you will need it for check-in.
Yes.
I don't want the new people to come in and just, here's my driver's license to the tech inspectors. They'll be like, what?
Okay. We'll check that you have a valid driver's license. We will check that your number matches your registration, and we will check that the class you registered for is that you know what class
Mhm.
your car is, all of that. And then we'll send you on your way. You will then go park your car in the parking area and then head to the track and walk the course. You want to give yourself tons of time to walk the course, walk it as many times as you can, which means show up as early in the day as you can to get through tech inspection, check in, and then give yourself course walking time.
Something different about this event is that when you're done checking in and you want to go walk the course, you cannot drive your car up to the course.
Mhm.
So the way it is laid out is that we will have a corral where we will keep everybody, probably cover that, and then we will drive in as a group collectively.
We could talk about that now.
Okay.
So, what he just said. We have a narrow transit between parking and the race and where we're going to grid you up. That area also will have the vendors, people will be walking, and because it's narrow, because there's lots going on, we are going to control that transit, which means you as drivers will line up in a line that we will make in the parking area
Mhm.
before it is time for you to line up in grid.
Mhm.
Then we will transit all of you to grid together.
Mhm.
You will race, you'll have a great time.
Mhm.
When your session is over, you will then, when your grid is released, we
Mhm.
will transit you together back to parking. That way, we don't have cars coming and going multiple ways.
Mhm.
What this means for you as a driver is you must bring everything with you to
Mhm.
your race session.
Mhm.
If you get a flat, if you have a mechanical, if you
Mhm.
forget your water, whatever,
Mhm.
you are stuck. So,
Yeah, let me make this super, super clear.
super.
The track is in the middle.
Hmm.
On one side, you will park.
Hmm.
On the other side will be grid,
Hmm.
and we will transit around the track.
Hmm.
So if you have a D beat or something like that, you will not be able to take your car all the way to parking. If you
Hmm.
forget your tire, you will have to hoof it all the way back to the parking, which
Hmm.
is roughly a little over a quarter of a mile, and get your stuff and then hoof it back. We have a tool corral
Hmm.
for this exact purpose. You bring everything with you, your spare tire, your jack, your impact, your
Hmm.
air pump, whatever, water,
Hmm.
whatever it is that you got,
Hmm.
you bring it with you
Hmm.
and you leave it in the tool corral over by grid. And then you have to remember
Hmm.
to pack it all back up in your car and then when we transit out, okay? If you forget your tool stuff, you again will have to hoof it over there and carry the stuff back,
Yep.
just so you know.
Yep. Little bit more tightly coordinated just to make sure it runs smooth, everyone's safe, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So,
it's just the way it's laid
mhm.
out. Unfortunately, this is what we have to do to keep
Yeah.
everybody safe. So just be prepared. The other part to this too is that we're transiting everyone together. Don't be late. If you're late, you're going to be locked out on the other side of the gate. And then somebody's going to have to like let us know and we're going to
Mhm.
have to come get you and blah, 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 blah. Don't be that person. Please,
I
please,
think
please.
the language in the email is much more stern. It's like, you're SOL, which
Yeah. Well,
just
I mean, by the time somebody finds us and we have a chance to come
okay.
get them and all that, they may miss a run.
Yep.
So no
All right.
guarantees on
We'll
that.
keep it moving. One
Yep.
other thing about that layout, the parking area is far and it doesn't have line of sight like usual. Usually we can see the parking area from everything.
Yes.
Spectators will also be parking in the same area on a separate side, but spectators will parking in the same area.
Yeah, they'll be parking on the other side of the block.
Yes.
Hmm.
We just want to say to all of you, make sure your things, your belongings are secured when you go race. We have never, knock on wood, had any issue with theft. However, we also always have lots of people, lots of eyes on parking, that sort of thing. So let's just not find out the hard way that we need to be a little more thoughtful with this track layout. Instead, just be sure everything is, you're going to take your tools with you, so that's easy. If you
Hmm.
have anything else that you feel like is valuable, either lock it in your tow rig, lock it in someone else's tow rig, bring it with you. Just have a plan. Let's just make sure. Let's just make sure.
Hmm.
We have no reason to believe this will be an issue, but let's just make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you've gone through tech. You've checked in, you've walked the course. We will do a driver's meeting. It will be very quick. It will probably be saying hello to you all and telling you who we are and telling you where to line up and how the pre-grid lineup and transit will work. That will most likely be the extent of it. And then we will race. When you race, first things first, you get a parade lap.
Hmm.
Just one lap of the track
Hmm.
at slow speed.
Hmm.
But then when it's time to race, what
Hmm.
are the safety rules? What do people need to know?
Well, before you go up to the line, you need to have your helmet on, you need to have your seatbelt on, and then the window, you're allowed a 1 inch crack at the top with wherever there is a person. So if you do not have a passenger, you can open the passenger window up. But if there's a passenger window, it needs to be closed. You can open up back windows if you like as well, if you don't mind dust and dirt and rocks and stuff getting in your car. And then you should be ready to have some fun.
No loose items.
No
So
loose
that
items.
includes
Yeah,
if
no,
you have a passenger, they
yes,
can't be holding a cell phone to record everything.
yes, yeah. They cannot be handheld. If you want to record something, get a hard mount in the vehicle or on the vehicle and put your phone there and do your recordings that way.
We also will have a stop box at the end of the track
Hmm.
after you cross the finish line.
Yep. And so you need to come to a complete stop when you get to that stop box and let the red mist out, and then continue at parade speed or very slow speed. And just remember that there is going to be spectators around.
Mhm. Yep.
Hmm.
So just be cautious, be careful.
Yep.
You want to talk about the track surface?
Oh yeah, the track surface. Okay. So again, we have not raced at this particular part. I have gone and visited it, taken a look at it, and in my assessment, I think that we are going to end up with a lot of pavement. And so I am not convinced that a rally tire is going to be the fastest tire. That being said, I would bring an option that works well on tarmac and maybe, a little bit of gravel too. And then you decide after walking the course what you want to do.
Um, we describe the actual track.
So the track is a oval track. It's a tarmac oval, like oval racing NASCAR style. It's a believe it's a half mile oval. It was apparently the fastest half mile in North America or something along those lines. Doesn't really matter to us, but it's a high bank oval. It has gravel in the middle, and then on one end of it, attached to the pavement, is a go-kart track. And we will be using all of the above.
Cool. Gravel, pavement,
Bank
maybe
turns.
bank turns, maybe heavy on the pavement.
Yes.
Cool. All right. If you are out on track and you see a red flag, a red flag waving, what do you do?
A red flag means come to a stop as quickly as you can under control. You do not need to lock up your brakes or anything. It means that there's something either ahead of you that's an issue, or there's an issue with your vehicle. And so come to a complete stop and probably roll your window down, because a course worker is going to come up to you and give you directions what to do. Whether it's to just drive at parade speed back to start, or directly or whatever, they will give you directions, follow those directions.
Yep.
Yep.
If you are the reason for the red flag,
If I'm the reason for the red flag, it's probably because I have a D bead. Um, or there's another issue with my car mechanically. I'm spilling oil, gasoline, something like that. Okay, so if it is yours and it is a D bead, will then have 10 minutes to go and fix your D bead. Then you will get an opportunity to do a rerun. That is one freebie. If you DB'd again, we will red flag you again, but it will be given a DNF. The reason that we red flag you is the car is going to be listing to one side and the wheel can dig in and create a rollover situation. So that's why we try to shut it down. So if you do get a DB and you fix it, I might suggest that you up your tire pressure a little bit to stop it from happening again. You know.
that 10 minutes is what's called a timeout or
Mm-hmm.
a mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gets one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, everyone gets one 10-minute timeout per race day. Um, you can use it for mechanical or whatever reason you have. I mean, if it's your turn at the start line, you got to go run and use the bathroom, then you can use it for that. You can use it for whatever you want. It's completely up to you. Here's the deal. You have to either let the people at timing or your grid captains know that you are taking this time out. We are not mind readers, we will not know. Your 10 minutes starts when you are supposed to be at the start line and left. That is when your 10 minutes starts. So you can, and I do suggest if you think it's going to be close, that you take your 10-minute. If you get back in line and you're there for your run, none of the time will be assessed to you. So you will still maintain having your 10-minute timeout. If you don't make it, then you have a buffer of 10 minutes to get there. Here's the deal. It is a one and done. You don't get to use 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here, another 2 minutes there. You use 30 seconds, it's over. That was your 10-minute that you just used up. So think of it as an opportunity up to 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To be clear, you have plenty of time between runs usually to air up your tires, go
Oh,
to the
yeah.
bathroom, that kind of thing. This is if you realize something right before it's your turn to go or pretty close to it, and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm not sure I'm going to be ready
Yeah,
in
you
time.
fire up your car and all of a sudden it makes a funny noise. Something, you go to
Um,
move your car and all of a sudden you realize your tire's flat,
yep.
So,
With with you bringing everything and never
mhm,
having to run back to paddock, that actually might make this a little easier, but
mhm,
nonetheless, always err on the side of caution.
mhm.
Reminder, there is a 10 cone limit per session, which means per day, which means if we do, let's say 4 runs, and you hit 3 cones in your first run, 3 cones in your second run, and 3 cones in your third run. But let me say that differently. Let's say you did 4 and 4 on your first 2. All of a sudden, you're at 8 cones. That means on your third run, if you hit 2 cones, you are done for the day and your times don't count. So, all this to say, our expectation of you as drivers is that you are under control. It is fine to hit a cone, but if you're hitting a bunch of cones, you are not keeping it safe and under control, and therefore you might get yourself in trouble. We try and give you a warning if you rack up a handful of cones in one lap, so that you know. Sometimes folks don't realize what they've taken out during the run, and so we'll communicate with you. But the punchline here is keep it tidy. If you hit 10 cones, you'll be out for the day.
Yeah, if you see an area that has a huge line of cones, there's one thing that is guaranteed. You're not going to win your race there, but you certainly can lose it there.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to go bombing through there and try and pick up a 10th. Makes sense. That's usually, around start and finish, or around things that, we consider, a danger as a possibility we're trying to keep you away from. And so, those areas are, specifically lots of cones for that particular reason. And so those areas are a good plan to stay under control there.
Yep. We've never had this happen, but if you're racking them up and you realize your day is shot and then you just go full send and take out a ton, not only will you be done for the day, but you might be done forever, ever. So just be a respectful.
You'll certainly get a conversation.
Okay, one more thing. We talked about all the stuff with the grid and the transit. When you will always rest before you race, unless you're the first session of the day, which means you will need to line up in the pre-grid area, in the parking area, about 15 minutes. How do we want to time that? We haven't really talked about the timing. We will tell you to line up early. And the reason for that is that way, when we release cars from grid, you all will be ready to go at that point. So we'll
open up that area. I mean, it'll be open for the whole run, honestly. But we'll have somebody over there starting to control it about 15 minutes before the other session ends. And then as soon as the other cars have paraded out from grid over back into the parking, then we will send you immediately out there into grid.
Yep. So, and then that means if your work assignment is grid/pre-grid, when you are finished with your race session, we want you to actually stay with your car in the grid area. We'll tell you where to park. And the reason is because you are going to work grid with the grid people. And then about halfway through, you're going to drive in your car to the pre-grid area and start lining people up. So we want you to still have your car so you can make that transit. We don't want you to have to go and come back, the whole thing. So if your work assignment is grid/pre-grid, after you race, stay put, and then you can go back. Keep that in mind. Bring some snacks, bring your water, that kind of thing. So with that, let's talk about course working. We are almost at the end, guys. You have a work assignment as part of your race day, race weekend. If you're doing fun runs one day, it is the same. You'll have a work assignment one day and a work assignment the other day. A couple things there. It's your responsibility to know your work assignment. It is in the email we sent out. So just click that link, find your work assignment for both days. If you race both days, make a note. I say make a note in your phone because you'll probably have your phone with you. That way you know. But we ask that you know those in advance. Yes?
I was going to say they still need to check in, though.
Yes, when it is time for you to work, come check in. We will mark off that you're there, and then you can go out on course. At that time, if we've needed to move your work assignment, we will tell you. So that's one key part of the check-in. The other part is if you don't check in, we assume you did not do your work assignment, and that means you get in trouble. So just check in before you go out.
Yeah, in case you didn't catch that, work assignment is mandatory.
Mandatory. Yeah. When you go out on course, you must wear an orange vest. You must be on your feet when the course is hot. Your phone needs to be away. Your eyes need to be on the track. So no taking photos, no taking videos, that kind of thing. Our expectation is that as cars go through your section on course, you are watching them go all the way through. This is for safety and also so you can keep track of any cones that they've hit and be sure they get put back. There may be times where we take a break mid-section. We'll say the course is cold. At that point, you can take a load off if you want, but other than that, we ask that you're on your feet. Your job as a course worker is to make sure that cones stay exactly where they are. So if something gets hit, we want you to safely, carefully run out, put it back, and then signal to your captain how many cones were hit. You'll see this in the driver's meeting video, but as a reminder, only upright cones count. If there's a pointer cone laying on its side, even if it gets hit, it does not count. So do not count those. And so since a lot of the track is pavement, this may be a little bit easier, but we want to be sure that you know where your cones are and you put them back exactly where they are. So you can use a marker off course. You can use some kind of indicator. You can pace out the distance between cones.
Yeah, we might actually chalk the tires. Or
Tires.
not tires, the cones.
Yeah, we could. You
Yeah.
want to try and do that?
Yeah, out on the tarmac area. And we'll probably put a box out there.
Yeah, so this might be easier.
But also pay attention because a car coming through wiping a cone out, its tires can also scrub off the chalk.
Yeah.
So you still need to be aware of where it is.
If we put cones back in different spots, it changes the shape of the course. And a little change here or there, maybe not that big of a deal, but over the course of a race session, the course can get drastically different for better or for worse. And so we always want to be sure we're putting things back. You will have a captain at all of your stations. The captain is responsible for making sure they know where their corner starts and ends and where the next corner starts and ends so that two people aren't calling in the same cone. It's also important that captains, you make sure all of your people are spread out. We don't want people bunched together and chatting. Everyone needs to have their areas.
Captains also talk about hand signals that you'd like people to use.
Yeah, tell them how you want them to communicate a cone or a gate. You will have a radio. Our expectation is that you listen for the, oh my gosh, I'm losing my words. We do a radio check before we get going. We do a radio check before we get going. We want you to always be listening, confirm that you can hear us. Then if something happens, somebody hits a cone, we want you to say, "Com 1, car 123, one cone." Wait for confirmation. Always be sure to wait for clear airways because if you push the button when somebody else is talking, we hear nothing. Well, we hear like garble, but we hear nothing. You need to keep your red flag on you and know where your fire extinguisher is. That way, if we call a red flag, you can very easily get it. If you have to run back to your bucket to get it, the car has passed. It's too much time. If you see something that is a reason for a red flag, those situations could be we have one car catching another and you're concerned they might get too close. It could be that we have a broken car up ahead and you need to bring a car to a stop, or a DB when the car is tilting. We just want to bring them to a stop. So what your responsibility there is to call the red flag while simultaneously issuing the red flag. So you're going to say quickly and clearly, COM 3, red flag, car off course. COM 3, red flag, car off course. Get off the radio because then we will start to coordinate.
Yeah. Also, make sure that you have people working both sides of the track, essentially, so they can see both sides of the car. We've had a couple events now where people have had a D-bead on one side, and they've gone through a couple corners and nobody noticed. And so just make sure that, we're spreading our people out. We should not be bunched up, 5 people in one area all having, a conversation about whatever. We should be spread out out across the comm station.
Yeah. One of the groups on Sunday, I was trying to remember which one. We have a handful of new comm captains. The way it worked out is this group is a lot of new folks. We did our best to look at people's experience and see who had experience doing autocross and that kind of thing. So if you are a first timer and a first time captain or just a first time captain, be sure to check in for your work assignment early. We'll take a minute, we'll orient you, we'll talk to you about everything, we'll show you the radios. It's a fun job. It's not super complicated. It requires a little bit of extra attention, but give yourself some time. We'll be sure to talk you through that. Okay, all that said, remember that it might be kind of warm and sunny out there. Fingers crossed. So
We're gonna snow.
As we said, if it snows, I quit. Bring water, bring lots to drink with you for racing, for your work assignment. When you go out on course, be sure you're wearing a hat. And long sleeves if you need to protect your skin. Just remember, it's a couple hours standing out in the sun. So be prepared, wear comfortable shoes, you can bring snacks with you. That's totally fine. Wear sunscreen. Yeah. Just take care of yourself.
Yep. Just bring your garbage in.
Don't
leave it in the buckets for us.
Please. Yeah. Okay. Last couple of things. First things first. Camping is allowed. Camping is encouraged. You may come on Friday and camp. You can camp on Sunday night as long as you're out Monday morning. Our rules are No going onto the track, no even going into the track area, no driving around. Quiet hours after 9 p.m., please. Some people like to go to bed and get an early start and have a fresh everything in the morning. Um, all pets must be on a leash, no exceptions at any time. It is for everyone's safety. This track is strict about it. Leashes, always. Um, any other camping rules? Pick up your garbage, please. Leave the area cleaner than you
Yeah,
found it.
you can't burn on the ground.
No burning on the
It's
ground.
asphalt, so yeah,
Okay.
be aware of that.
Okay.
You'll burn the asphalt.
Yeah, we've done that once.
I've done it.
Don't recommend it. All right.
Thank you.
With that, thank you all for joining us on this journey through the driver's meeting. Please be sure to read your emails, check your helmets, know the rules, drive safely getting out there. If you have questions, we are happy to answer them. Email us at info@nwrallyassociation.com prior to Wednesday.
Yes.
We're traveling early. We always say contact us prior to Wednesday, but usually there's a grace period on Thursday. We're traveling on Thursday. So
Yes. Remember that there is a new speed monitoring zone entering into Spokane now.
oh,
Yeah, it's a new.
he said, remember, I don't even know that.
Well, yeah, I mean they announced it a while ago. There's a handful of areas where they were
Okay.
having speeding problems, and so they put in a bunch of devices, and
Okay.
I think they're going to be like clocking with airplanes and stuff like that. So just remember that. It sucks to get a speeding ticket. It's
Yeah.
already expensive enough to get there.
Yeah.
You know. So,
As always, we encourage everyone to remember that you are an ambassador for the sport, especially like the way your car looks, but also now you're running around with our stickers on it. So just always do the speed limit coming and going from the events. They know that we're there. They're going to keep an eye out. So just be a good steward. I think that's everything. We're gonna have a taco truck. So eat tacos.
eat tacos.
Eat
Damn
tacos.
it.
And from what we hear, the bathrooms are inside and they're the nice bathrooms. So
Yeah.
that's all we know. All right.
Yep, yep.
Thank you. We'll see you all soon. Safe travels.
Bye.